Hey everybody, I'm on for the midweek message reveal, Wednesday, November 29th. All right, so welcome to another week. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on astrologically that might be having you in your feels. We are full on in Sagittarius season now, where we have Mercury, Mars, and the Sun all in Sagittarius. Mercury is going to move into Capricorn at the end of tomorrow even, I think. And that move is going to move us from, Mercury being the sign of communication, right? And the ways in which we understand one another. So moving from a Sagittarius being a very macro, very kind of aloof at times, bigger picture kind of fun vibe, to Capricorn, which is all about the hustle and let's get this shit grounded and let's make this stuff happen. The conversation topics are going to switch from something more conceptual to something more action-based. How can we ground these things into reality, right? We are in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. That will not happen and go full retro until December 13th. So we have a little bit of time, but you might be starting to see the Mercury retro shadow energy kind of cropping up a little bit, where communication is a little frazzled, maybe technology is a little wonky. You might be getting like weird robocalls out of nowhere. You might be having dreams about people from your past coming up. You might be having difficulty getting your point across, or people understanding you or you understanding them. So general miscommunication stuff that comes up. You might be experiencing, issues with your car, or maybe some, just like stuff doesn't seem to be working as it should. And that's not to be feared. Retrogrades are designed in order for us to revisit how things are working and to decide if we want to continue the way that they have been. Do we need to course correct a little bit? And it gives us a chance to kind of slow down and review. And a lot of times we need to have something get disrupted in order for us to snap out of our autopilot, right? So see retrogrades as a positive, and you will be on the better side of it when it comes through, instead of fearing the retro, because I feel that is just a nonsense concept. Everything is for your benefit. And if you go through life believing that, then every obstacle that comes your way, there has to be something that you gain from that, right? Okay, so we also have Venus in Libra currently, and Venus and Libra, perfect. They love each other. It's a great thing. Venus loves to be in balance, and so does Libra. So that puts us in a space where, the relationship vibes and, how you're feeling about money and how you're feeling about people's and how you're feeling about, your relationship with others is in more of a positive sense. When we move it into Scorpio is what's coming up next on Monday. Venus is going to be moving from Libra. See? Here is Mercury retrograde shadow in action. I can't get it out of my mouth. Venus is currently in Libra. It will be moving into Scorpio on Monday. Scorpio is going to be that transformative energy, that plutonic energy that wants to kind of uncover things. So feelings that you have about your finances, feelings that you have around relationships, questions and things that, maybe you haven't really been able to kind of weasel out or make clarity of, are going to come to the surface and are going to be in your experience. That paired with the Sagittarius energy of that macro lens that I talked about last week, keep everything in that way if you can, because I feel that that's going to be the best way through some of the rocky stuff, is if you can kind of take a step back and be like, this is just for now, this is not for always, and what can I learn about this in the greater scheme of things? Is there a greater scheme that I can consider? Go that route. All right, so let's jump into the cards. And the cards this week are more around like, what are the things that you could be working on that are going to help you through as we wrap up the year, so to speak, although time is relative and an illusion. If you chose one, your card is 14, experiencing artistic creativity. What a beautiful card. All right. I'm really drawn to the third eye here and the rainbow colors, specifically the blue. One, you may be having a lot of desire to really speak out your creativeness, whether that's through song, whether that's through speaking with others and talking and having a conversation about the things that are passionate to you, or what it is that you're wanting to get started, because I'm really feeling that Capricorn, like, let's get it done energy, and the blue in general in this whole card connected to the throat chakra. So that's going to have you really wanting to move into a space where you can express yourself in a different way. So through artistic creativity, I mean, that could be a lot of different things. That could be through singing, like I mentioned. It could be through movement. It could be through a material such as, sculpture or painting or drawing. It could even be creating memes, or coming up with, maybe you're going to be writing, holiday cards to people, or, working on projects or gifts for others as we enter, the holiday seasons. That may be something that you're wanting to do. And you should follow that urge, because 14s are 5. So that's 1 plus 4 is 5. 5s have to do with big life changes. This is going to help you through the transitional space that you're in right now. One, you've been in a place where you're kind of 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, Paula Abdul kind of shit. And that movement back and forth is necessary for you to kind of slough off the stuff that you don't want. And it's the best way for you to get that information. Your higher self is kind of putting you in a place where the experiences that you're having are causing you to be under a little bit of stress, and you need an outlet. So that outlet is going to be helping you through the artistic element of creativity. So what can you add to your day? Can you go and do something fun? Can you even like play with some Play-Doh or something like that, or finger paint or doodle, or get one of those Zen gardens with the sand, or even watch someone like Bob Ross. Like, isn't there like a Bob Ross documentary or something on the flicks? Like, go ahead and check something like that out. Get to immerse yourself in something different that's going to take you out of your headspace a little bit, because you need to kind of have some sort of decompression time here in order for you to process what's going on. Everything's cool though. It's just a matter of, letting off some steam. And that steam is going to be best expressed in a creative sense. All right, moving on to 2. If you chose 2, your card is 15, practicing daily spirituality. All right. What I'm really drawn to the most are these 3 sort of brackets that are coming out of the figure sort of hair. And the color yellow being connected to the solar plexus. Now, what you've really been working on too is your vulnerability and your ability to be into a space that you're admitting some of the things that, you've kind of brought upon yourself, some self-sabotagey stuff. You're admitting when you're wrong. You're being more vulnerable and allowing yourself to be more human, which in a sense is funny, because the more human that you are, the more spiritual that you are. Some Rob Zombie, more human than human. But really what the message here is with 5 plus 1 being 6 is that you're looking for a balance, and you might be feeling a bit out of sorts, like you're not able to ground yourself into your day. You might be kind of coasting and burnt out to a sense that you're not able to really be fully present in the moments that you're experiencing right now. And that is being reflected in your reality as well. It seems like a lot of things are coming up that are kind of making you feel like you can't get ahead, or that you're kind of in a space where no matter what you do, you feel like you haven't really moved a whole lot. Similar to 1, and I'm not surprised that these are like 14 and 15. All right. But the advice here is for you to get into a space where you can see yourself not so much stuck in your 3D reality, that, your 9 to 5 work, you're, going and doing the laundry and washing the dishes, rinse, repeat, literally and figuratively, but that you're able to see yourself as a spiritual being, because that is ultimately who and what you are. And where in your day are you giving yourself a chance to kind of connect to the I amness that you are, where you can really feel a sense of power in yourself? Are you stating a space of gratitude? Are you paying attention to some of the things that you have, regardless of what it is that you want to bring into your space? Are you taking the time to say thank you and I am grateful for, or I am, I am thankful for what it is that I already have? And through that thankfulness and through that gratitude, you actually are kind of stockpiling a lot of that good vibe and allowing yourself to feel a little bit more grounded into the physical. And through that, you're going to be able to feel an opportunity to kind of expand outside of yourself and allow yourself to take it to the next level as far as what it is that you want to bring into your reality. 6s have to do with balance. And this is where you're going to feel more safe in your, I'm hearing safe and structured. So there needs to be something that you're going to put into the routine. Maybe you've gotten out of a habit. I do feel that there's some physical movement that's wanting to come through for you too, as well as, you know, maybe some breath work, allowing yourself to kind of get into a space where you can take 5 minutes of just scanning the body, listening to yourself, and giving yourself some peace. I do have a really great body scan meditation on my website at kellylightbridge.com. Just go ahead and download that. And it's a great 15-minute, maybe it's like 13 minutes, where you actually get to sit and relax and fill your cup. That might be all you need. And I would love to be a part of that for you. So let me know how that lands. All right. And 3, if you chose 3, your card is 21, questioning the darkest thoughts. So I'm really drawn to the pink that's happening here in the card for you 3. And it's interesting that it is 3 and also the number 21, 2 plus 1 is 3. And when we're seeing 3s, it's connected to the Ascended Masters, right? It's connected to the greatest of the greats in our human experience that we've experienced as spiritual advisors. Buddha, Ganesha, Kali Ma, Mother Teresa. You could go on and on. There's all kinds of people. But really, what it's all about is understanding that where there is darkness, there is light. And you can't have one without the other. So what you're experiencing is a lot of mental being in your headness, a lot of tumult there. And some of it has to do with not allowing yourself some space. You're kind of making yourself feel bad about a lot of things that are outside of your control. Maybe you're taking on the weight of the world that feels kind of right. I also feel that there's like a lot happening here in the chest and the throat, some heaviness and some labored breathing. There might be some anxiety that you're experiencing. And that anxiety is, a lot of it has to do with the energy of the times, as well as the solar weather that we're experiencing currently. There are things that are moving through the cosmos that we haven't really had to experience before. And you may be extra sensitive to that. But at the same time, there is some grief that you're moving through. And you're kind of questioning, what is it? What does it mean to be human? What is my purpose? Some really big, heavy stuff. Just know that you're not the only person who is feeling this way or thinking these things. And through a little bit more examination of what it is that it means to be you and what it is that you get to bring to the table in this life is where you will start to find the light in the dark thoughts. So that darkness, not to say that it isn't important, because we wouldn't know happiness without its converse shadow, right? But know that there has to be balance. Balance is the key. 3s also have to do with your guides and your intuition that are kind of lining up here and saying, just keep on going. There's hope here. So hold on. Don't try not to make it to where you're stuck in a pattern of woe is me, or feeling like it's never going to get better, or counting all of the things that aren't going wrong for every one thing that does. It seems to be a trend across the board here, is that you're feeling kind of stuck in a loop and not able to move forward. That's not something that's going to last for very long. And a lot of it is very mental. So can you get out of your head for a little bit? Try and get into your body, get into your heart space. Allow yourself to really relax around what you really have control over, which is literally nothing. The only thing you have control over is how you react. So when you're experiencing that feeling of foreboding or an impending sense of doom, acknowledge it, sit with it, and say, okay, I see you, but what are you really trying to show me here? And a lot of times it just needs to be acknowledged, and that in itself is an emotional release that will dissipate instead of trying to run away from it. So sending you lots of love and grace and peace, and just know that you have everything that you need. What's meant for you can't pass you by here. And going through what you're experiencing is very human, is very normal, and isn't something that won't change. So if you're feeling like that's not going to happen for you, you are not the exception to the rule. Change is always the number one thing that we can depend on. All right, so that's all for me this week. Would love to hear how it landed for you, so please leave me some information below and some feedback. Would love to work with you, so please check out my website for readings and private sessions. and I will check you all next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Keep your chin up and know that I'm thinking about you. All right, peace.